And yeah, I wanted to just quickly run through the level one account, which you've recently passed. Where do you trade in from?
I'm based in the UK,
Yeah,
specifically in Kent, southeast of England. Not sure if you've
cool.
heard of it.
I have, yeah. How long have you been in the market for?
I've been in the market for God for about 6, 7 years now. For yeah,
Long
it's
time
been
then.
quite some time actually. Yeah, for quite some time.
And is it mostly foreign exchange, or have you traded in other markets?
Actually, I started off my trading journey in penny stocks. That
Right,
was my
okay.
first exposure to the idea of investments in the stock market.
Yeah,
And like a year later, I came across FX and gold, and I was like, this market is a lot more exciting.
right. Cool. And have you got experience with other prop firms?
Yeah, so I do. I do trade capital for other prop firms as well.
Yeah, awesome. Um, so yeah, let's have a look here then. So obviously this level one that you passed, I was looking at it, and you passed quite quickly. You know, started this. Well, the performance started on 5th of May, and you reached your
Yeah.
target 11th of May. So relatively quickly, but still a lot of trades in here from what I can see. So what is the main style? How do you find trading setups?
I mean, it looks like a lot of trades, but it actually isn't. So the only reason the numbers are very high is because every trade I execute, it splits. I have like an executor splits my position in two, obviously to
Right.
allow me to make profit at different areas. So it's like there's one trade is usually two orders, so that's why it might look like a lot of different trades.
Okay, so you place a trade and then you're cutting, like, banking small amounts of that trade as it goes into profit or loss, for
No.
example.
So I don't place one trade and do partials. I place two trades. What I enter two positions,
Right.
and then I essentially have two different profit targets. So the first position would have profit target A, second position would have profit target B, and I just let it run. So
Okay.
I don't have partials.
Right. And is it like short? What kind of time frames are you studying on the charts?
I trade pretty much I do my analysis from the high time frames, so from the monthly all the way down to the 1 hour. Then my execution is usually from the 1 hour, 15 minutes, and I execute on the 5 minutes time frame.
Right. Okay. Okay. Cool. And so is it mostly technical analysis or is it fundamental analysis? Wow.
Pure technical analysis. I use fundamentals to just sort of be aware of red news events because that allows me to establish how wide my profit target should be. So, for example, like US 30, which I took on Friday, that was just before the red news release at 1:30. So I had a much wider profit target as I anticipated a much more aggressive run on liquidity as a result of that red news event. So, but I trade technicals, but I use fundamentals to help me make a decision on how to take my profit in a trade and how to manage my risk.
Yeah. Or whether, like you say, big news is coming in and then that's going to have an impact on your trades. So
Exactly.
is it just these that you're looking at? So gold, pound, and
Yeah, so those
yeah.
those are what I trade. I mean, I used to trade a lot more pairs. It's only recently that I've actually fine-tuned my system to just these three pairs. And actually, I got this account to test it out, and worked pretty well. So gold,
Yeah.
pound, dollar, and the US 30. Those are literally my primary focus.
Excellent. It's good to see. It's good to see, a small amount of pairs rather than a substantial long list of 10, 15 pairs where it's difficult to actually get
Yeah,
understanding of them. And I take it you're going to continue on these pairs and this same style on your level 2 account now, yeah?
that's correct. So yeah, so those are the only pairs that I trade. I don't trade anything else outside of that.
Cool. And just on the so for example, like on the trading platform, how have you found the experience on that with like the swaps and the spreads and the trading conditions?
It's actually pretty good, very good. Because I had a friend that trades with Ftuk. He recommended them to me, and for me, like I'm always skeptical when it comes to different prop firms and their spreads. I'm like, no, I'm going to try it out, and it's actually been really, really good because a lot of my entries are actually very precise, precision-based entries. So
Right.
one of my biggest worries, of course, if the spread is too wide, then I won't get triggered, and I end up missing out on some very good positions. So, but what I found is that the spreads are actually very nice and decent enough to allow me to get filled on a lot of my trades.
Mm. Yeah, definitely. And obviously, it's well, from what I've experienced, the spreads on the platform are really very low, almost raw on a lot of
Yeah,
the pairs, which just allows for more profit, essentially, doesn't it? If there's no swaps and commissions. But from what I
yeah.
can see, you've kind of been in and out of the market quite at a rapid pace. I know you've used multiple orders on trades, but yeah, it all helps.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, sometimes I mean I take small losses as well. So I'm a big believer in taking small losses and bigger gains. So if I see a position isn't like behaving in the way that I know that specific structure to behave, I just get out the trade. I don't I'd rather take a small loss than allow myself to lose a whole 0.5% or 1%.
Yeah, well, I can see the losses are minute, really. Average loss $7, average profit $25. So when you're talking about getting out of it, the trading a loss, what is your exit strategy in terms of that? Like, is it do you have to see something in order for you to close a trade, or is it just a case of it hitting your stop loss?
Absolutely. Again, I mean, a lot of my entries are precision-based entries. So if I am in the right direction and the structure is appropriate to my system, the market should shift relatively quickly to when I enter the trade. If it doesn't and price keeps on moving against me, then I'm definitely in the wrong direction and I get out the trade. I don't need to think twice about it. So essentially, my point of invalidation from entry is very small, literally about 4 or 5 pips away from wherever I enter a trade.
Okay, quite tight then, yeah. And what about so the risk to reward ratio must be quite high on your trades.
Absolutely. I mean, I sometimes get 1-to-1s, 1-to-2s, 1-to-3s. It depends on what the market gives me within the day. But there are times I would get a 1-to-5. Even like last week, Friday, I got a 1-to-8 on US 30, and on GU in the morning, I did a 1-to-4. So it does vary quite widely. But I do like whenever I do win, my wins tend to be a lot bigger than my losses on average.
And how did that 1-to-8 trade work out? Did it come all the way to your target, or?
Yeah, it went all the way to my target, and
Well,
I got
okay.
taken out before I could even blink. I went to get a cup of coffee, came back, and
Oh,
trade
okay.
was closed. I was like, "Oh, fair enough."
Yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing because well, we can see here. I mean, like winning trades is like just under 30%, but when you equate for all this, the ratios, the wins to losses, best profit $151, biggest loss $39. Your profit factor is still above one, so it still means that even though um, the amount of actual physical losing trades is so high, you've still been able to reach the 11% profit, which is happy days. Obviously, onto level 2 now.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest misconceptions in the industry is that you need to have a high win rate for you to be profitable, and that's just not the case. It's never been the case, actually. Like you can be profitable with a high win rate, but I think when it comes to traders that do this long term, they tend to have a high losing rate than win rate, and but they just always average it out with bigger wins.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, even the traders that I see sometimes will have a 1 week period of, let's say, 80% win rate, which is mental.
Yeah,
It's very difficult to hold that or withstand that for like months and years to
oh
come.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Usually it's like we see on average it's around 50-50 wins to losses, but like you say, if you can adapt for the ratios, your profit to losses, then obviously that's where you can scale in and make some
Money.
serious growth. Yeah.
And this is a 5 day period as well. So
Yeah.
that's what this average is based off. And that
Yeah.
was actually a bad week for me in terms of, because I have amazing weeks where I have 0 losing days within the week. So for me,
Right.
this was a bad week. So imagine scaling this out over a month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, where I'm going to have 1 or 2, solid trading weeks. So again, it averages itself out over time.
Yeah, I'd expect probably the win rate maybe to increase as well over a longer sample period of
Yeah.
trades, which I'm looking forward to see, obviously, on your level 2 as you continue. And yeah, I would say, even though you have obviously blasted through level 1 for this account and you've reached it so quick, I would say that, you know, as you go on to level 2 now, I would advise you to probably, you know, take your time, don't rush it, don't rush, try and get to like level 3 or you know, getting a quick profit payout, etc. I think if you
Yeah,
if you take your time with it and be super disciplined with trying to find the most accurate entries for you and your trading plan, your style, then obviously taking your time with it and trying to increase that buffer. You know, I think your level 1, you really didn't go into much drawdown at all, but once you start building upon, you know, you get that 1 or 2% in the bank, it gives you so much more to play with. But
absolutely.
you're not risking massive anyway. So you know, it's if you continue doing what you're doing, I think you should get to level 3.